time for us to go racing once more out to the track, and we are looking at the Crossleys and the Formula Ford Zetecs. The commentary team for this one, Alan Tyndall and Brian Chute.
And off they go, and it's another one of these intriguing combination races. On the front group we have the Formula Fords, and indeed one stranded there, that's Hal Catherwood, just getting away very late from the line. And behind them the sports racing Crossleys, which are unleashed now. Number 91 Arnie Black screaming off the line, and these are the fastest cars of the weekend, and down they come to Dublin Crystal Corner for the first time.
And you can see Arnie getting a little hard time there from Richard Parsons. 71 on the outside there is Maven, he has a Vauxhall engine, but the yellow one there of Kieran Smith. These are beautiful little sports cars, originally built in the late 60s, but now, as they would say, new antiques. That there is a Formula Ford Zetec with an 1800 engine, and then the sports cars, which are following a couple of seconds behind, have the 2-litre engine, about 200 and odd brake horsepower, but very quick indeed.
91 Arnie Black just gets past Buckley in the 1600. He goes onto the straight wire. One triangle ahead of him, you might say, is Philip Keogh, number 23.
So it's the Dunlop Straight, the length of the Dunlop Straight between Arnie Black and the Philip Keogh. Can he do anything about it? Coming down into braking over the white line, turns in. Very, very sweet little motor car. 2-litre strapped on the back and the tail stepping out there. Buckley in Parsons' way. But out on the Coca-Cola Straight, you can see Philip Keogh's got the head down. And he's got a great collection of supporters here. They bring the Wexford flags with them. They wave them on. They support him at Mondello and Kirkson. And today they'll be hoping for him to have a win at the Phoenix Park.
They'll be looking for better luck than yesterday when he broke the rear suspension of this car out in this race. So here he comes. It's a very bumpy track, obviously, for these modern single-seaters. Number 90, Richard Parsons, former hill climb champion and very quick man indeed, used to race Formula Atlantic, has returned to racing this year. But there's Arnie Black pulling away now from Richard Parsons.
And a revival of sports car racing in Ireland. A lot of interest from a lot of people who would like to go out and try something different. And a price range of between 20 and 25,000 pounds, depending on what engine you want. But it would be some fun machine to have. You could run it in sprints and hill climbs, and they hope for a series of races.
I suppose, Brian, we could say this might be looked upon as a glimpse from the past to the future, because they're trying to get a one-make class for these Crossleys together for next year or the year after. This is John Gunning there, you saw, number 41, just having overtaken the 1600. We're looking at the man who's leading the race, and that's Philip Keogh.
Down into the Argus Rentals, very tight hairpin. You can see just how these single-seaters, and they're already down to 69 seconds. Keogh is doing. Black is doing 68.8, so very little in it, only 0.2 of a second, and Black hanging the tail out there at the Argus Rentals hairpin. It's very tight. It's the only way to get this car around is to give it plenty of power and let the tail step out. Down he comes through the sweeps. He knows he's got a job to do. Keogh really on a flyer, and think about it, 69 seconds. They're really up to racing speeds, and Keogh there, the last time it was the length of the straight, that Dunlop short straight, and there's Black in the background, so that gap is still roughly the same, lapping roughly the same time. We said 69.02 for Keogh and 68.82 for Arnie Black.
Gunning just coming through picture there, and the leader of the 1600s behind him, that's Tim Buckley, and his little, I think it's a Swift, isn't it? Yeah. And
it is indeed the ex-Brendan McKenna car. They're coming down. You can see just how it shutters around there, out on the bumpy section there, coming, gets the power down, very quick gear changes. The gearbox there sticking out on the back of the engine, driving the two drive shafts. You can see it just sits there. The air intakes on the left and right of the nose there, keeping it cool. And Black through that hairpin as well as they make their way up towards the Saab of Dublin Corner, which was the old Mountjoy corner. You cut those sweeps through over to the right-hand side of the track, and as quick as you can go. And these, again, a revival, as Alan said. It is a sports car that was built originally in the 60s, but these are, they say, modern antiques with little bigger brakes on them, and with the new type of tires, like 68 seconds around. And Keogh has put in a faster one. He's in the 68s, and Arnie Black has dropped into the 67. So when Keogh goes quick, Arnie goes quick.
And Coe just lapping there Hal Catherwood, a novice to racing this year, who is sharing his Crossle with his brother-in-law. And indeed, it was yesterday. In fact, Richard Parsons drove the 32F, the little single-seater, and Hal drove the sports car. That's Hal in the background. There's Philip Coe in the foreground. Very talented driver. He's had a lot of trouble this year, though. He seems to get himself into quite a few scrapes. There's a lot of mechanical failures. Very quick man indeed, though, and former V driver who's graduated up to the Zetec class.
There's Black lapping in 67.3 now. So just over the minute to go around this long circuit as we get over the white line through the S's there, being waved on there by Catherwood. He saw him coming in the mirrors, realized he's doing about 40 miles an hour quicker. Meanwhile, Coe out on the Dunlop straight, heading for Dublin corner, but you can see that Black is closing now. He's only got half the length of the straight, and out onto the dirt Arnie Black goes, and that's just how hard he is trying. Still in the 67. Coe's last lap was a 69 when he was passing the back marker, so he dropped 2 seconds there. So with it all to do as they come into Dublin Crystal, just a big bump in the middle of that, and Coe, you can see, losing out all the time as they go down the very fast part of the circuit, that Coca-Cola straight. Now he's up behind a 5-litre version of that sports car, but EMQ, not quite as quick as the 2-litre ones, but a historic car that is, and he overdoes it, locks up the brakes, just again put him off his braking point, and that's lost some precious time. And this is a good one for Arnie if he can get in on his tail now.
Well, I don't think Arnie was really going to do it, but I think that's made a lot of difference. He was about over 9 seconds behind. He's not that car immediately behind. We're waiting to see him coming through the trees, and here he comes. Now it's coming up to lap this absolute monster of a Crossle, a Formula 5000 engine. It's a real pointed squirt machine. It's a pretty old machine, not like these sort of what they're calling the late-run Crossles. We should just see Arnie now, hopefully not being held up by his favorite Crossle owner. He gets on the inside, accelerates away. It'll be interesting to see if Pugh can stay with him, because he should have the power in the straight line. Maybe he just wants to be a little bit circumspect in the conditions here at Phoenix Park.
And the gap closing down, and that lap that Philip locked up the wheels, he dropped to 1 minute 11 seconds, so they lost 3 seconds out there. So they're on the back straight. He lost 3 seconds on that lap to Black, who's still lapping at the 68.5 as opposed to 71.5. So you can see the distance. Look in the background. Here comes the flying Crossle.
And this time he gets the braking right. Philip Coe, nice and neat around the hairpin that time, around the Argus hairpin. And we're waiting for the Crossle. There it is. Little tail out, using all the power of that 2-litre Zetec engine. Philip Coe with the 1800 Zetec engine, of course a lighter car obviously than the Crossle sports racing car, so they're really pretty even in performance.
Yeah, the single-seater coming down on the brakes, down a gear, down 2 gears, out, using all the roll, but just missing the grass. The last time Black was really on the boards, he got it right out onto the dirt. He puts his hand up, his checkered flag, and he's won by what, 4, 5, 6 car lengths? How many seconds? Plum has the watch here beside me. He's pulled it back, and it's 5 seconds between them.
Well, Arnie Black really eased off. He's wagging the car out. What he's not out of petrol again, because he ran out of petrol yesterday, leaving it very critical, but he went very slowly over the line. But anyway, Black wins the sports car section. Philip Coe wins the single-seater section, and we see Ronnie Maben just coming up to lap Ian Pugh at the end there.